G'day everyone, Buck up in North Queensland. Welcome to part 4 of my little Engel Generator series. As you know, I got this a couple of days ago. Have not used it yet. So if you haven't seen parts 1, 2 and 3, please backtrack and watch those ones before you watch this one here. Rafa's come here to say g'day. G'day Rafa, how are you? He said there's a big thunderstorm everyone and I don't like them. He said I'm not keen on thunderstorms. This is the business end now. What we're going to do is going to throw some oil into this generator. I've never used it. I've only just pulled it out of the box in part 1. Part 2 it was, the unboxing. And we'll see how we go. So I'm going to put in 380 millilitres, according to the book, of 15W40 oil for a petrol engine, okay? And then, if I had enough, I'd put in 4.5 litres of normal unleaded petrol. Just 91 octane, doesn't need 95 or 98 guys, just normal 91 octane unleaded. I haven't got 4.5 litres left in the Jerry, but I do have enough to get in there and get her going, just to make sure she runs all right and get that camping fridge up to temperature. I'm going to break it in. I'm going to run my camping fridge, 95 litre camping fridge, and I'm just going to let this run for a little while, as long as this storm doesn't hit, and just let him run in for a while. Ideally, you'd like to let it run in for a few hours, but just for now, just for this clip number 4, we're just going to put enough fuel in. Whatever I've got in that Jerry, I'll throw in, and we'll crank it over. So the first thing I need to do is, before you do anything, these generators do not come with oil in them out of the box. You have to put oil in, guys. 15W40, okay? You'll see that they've had oil in there where they must have tested it out of the factory, but you have to put your own oil in. And as I said in the last clip, before you start the generator every day, or every start of the generator every day, check your oil, guys. All you got to do is pull a little cap off, unscrew it, make sure it's got full oil in there. But the good thing is, if you do forget to do that, or it does run low on oil, it has got an oil warning light which will light up red. Okay, let's get some oil in this bad boy and some ULP fuel. Righto, so with our little screwdriver that came with the kit, turning to the right, this is a different type of thread. There's our oil filler cap there, and where we also empty the oil when we do a service. Lefty loosey, loosen him out. And you can see there where they have had oil in there to obviously do a test run on it to make sure she runs all right. What we need here, guys, a little funnel to stick in there. And this is the oil we need. 15W40 for petrol engines, very important. Doesn't have to be Castrol, don't worry about that. 15W40, okay? 380 millilitres of it. If I can unscrew the lid. And of course, it's got one of these on there. And it'll take me half an hour to... Hang on, I'll come back. I hate these bloody things. They say don't tilt the generator because you could overfill it, but I'm going to need to, guys. I might... It's not the best funnel for this. So, 380 mils. Bear with me. Let's get her in there. Alright, so I've got a... No. Alright, so that's 250 mil. There's these oil bottles got a marker there, so I'm down to 750. It was a litre, so I've put 250 mil in so far, so a little bit more. See how that goes. Take that out. Righto. And basically, when you've put about 380 mil in, you should be able to see the oil at the bottom of the threads there, guys. You can see the threads. The oil, you can see it at the bottom of the thread. So I'm just going to get a torch, and I'm just going to double check that I've got enough in there, okay? So that's perfect. I can see the oil, it's halfway up those threads. So probably tiny little bit more than I need. So I can see the oil halfway up the threads there. So I'm gonna Put that in. Rafa is shit scared of this thunderstorm, aren't you, buddy? You settle down, mate. It's not going to hurt you. Alright, don't over tighten it, just nip him up like that. And what we'll do now, put the cover back on to the left to tighten it. Right, time for some fuel. Rightio, time for some fuel. Take the cap off. Nice clean funnel. I've even got a strainer in that, so I'll put the funnel in there. And I don't have 4.5 litres, guys, so I'm just going to tip the whole lot of me, what's left in the jerry here. Slowly tip that in. Normal 91 unleaded fuel. Petrol. Gas, they call it in America. As I said, I don't think I've got 4.5 litres in here, guys, but I've probably got 3 litres, so that'll do for now. But it is a 4.5 litre tank. Try not to overflow it if you've got... Righto. If you do make a mess and spill it, make sure you wipe it off, eh? And screw our cap back on. Okie doke. On to the next step. Time to start her up. Righto, so start up procedure. First thing we do is make sure I'm going to call it the eco throttle, guys. I think it's easier for me to remember. The eco throttle. Rafa said, I've come out to help Dad start the generator up. Right, so eco throttle off. Next thing, remember I said we want that airflow to come through to allow the fuel flow. So we turn the air valve here, if you want to call it that, on the fuel cap. Turn that on, and just as I did that, I could hear the air go shh, like the air was going in. So that's going to allow for no fuel stoppages now. If you don't turn that on, you're going to get fuel blockages. You're going to get air blockages of the fuel. Rightio. We've got oil in there. Always before we start our generator up in the morning, we take our little cover off, we make sure our oil's in there. We just top the oil up, 380 mils, so we know the oil's good. Brand new oil, I've got fuel in there. We should be ready to go. So eco off, your air valve on. This probably won't go first time, guys, because it's got to allow the fuel to get through the lines. Might take a couple of pulls. But the next thing we need to do now is, because this is a cold start, we haven't used this generator, we need to turn our switch down to choke. So on for a hot start. This is a cold start. It hasn't run. This is the first time it's ever run. So I'm going to turn it to choke. Turn it down to choke. Wish me luck. I think this is it now. And what I'm going to do, when it gets going, I'll just let it chug away for a little while. And then what I'm going to do, it'll go full bore from the very start, because I've got the eco throttle off. When I then I'm going to turn the eco throttle on, because I don't need the generator to be sitting at 4,400 revs a minute when it's not loaded up. When you start your generator up, always start it up with nothing loaded into it. Don't have all your air conditioners ready to go and start your generator. Start your Genny, get it going, and then you put your plug in. So I've got a 10 amp plug there, okay, and I've got my camping fridge ready to go inside the shed. I'm going to start it up, then I'm going to put the eco throttle on, then I'm going to plug the 10 amp lead for my fridge, which is connected to my camping fridge. I'm running the camping fridge off 240 off the generator, and the 10 amp lead's going to go in there, and you should hear the eco throttle up basically to provide enough power to power that fridge. I'm just going to let it run. As long as that storm stays away, we should be right. Righto, so we're ready to go. I'm on choke. Once it starts running for a bit, I'll turn it from choke to on. Here we go. I'm taking, how many pulls you reckon, guys? So when you pull it, don't just rip it then. Let it take up. So don't just rip it like that. Pull it out slowly until you feel the pull cord grab. Less chance of breaking your rope then. There we go. Second pull. You know what? That's not as loud as I thought it would be. I was expecting it to be louder than that. They reckon 67 decibels is 7 meters, whatever a decibel is. Feel that wind picking up. There's a storm brewing up, big thunderstorm. Wow. Hope your shade sail hangs in there. I'm going to turn the eco throttle off. Listen to that, that's beautiful. So that's just idled down now. It goes, listen, I've got nothing hooked into me. I don't need to be revving me guts off. I've hit the eco throttle. I'll tell you now, it's not as quiet as the Honda apparently. I'm pretty impressed with. I thought it would be louder, guys. I honestly did. That's pretty impressive. You wouldn't want to have it outside your caravan going all night. You could. That's nowhere near as loud as what I was expecting, which is a good thing, isn't it? So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to grab my 10 amp power lead. The other thing with power leads too, if you're going to run equipment off this generator, use a good quality power lead. Okay, and as I said, if you're going to use this in conjunction with your caravan or on your generator switch at the house, you will need a 15 amp power lead. You will need a 15 amp power lead. Don't need one at the moment. I'm only running my camping fridge, which runs off a normal, like your 10 amp switch at home. Okay, so I'm going to plug him in. Should hear this rev up a little bit. To tell you the truth, I don't know how many watts that fridge. I'll tell you what I might do. I might go and see if I can see how many watts this on the 240 volt power adapter to the camping fridge. See if I can work out how many watts it uses, so I can let you know. I'll come back. I got a chair, everyone. My back's rooted. I can't squat down like that for too long. I just went and checked the power, the 240 volt power supply for the camping fridge, the big 95 litre Engel. Maximum power 150 watts. This thing can run all day, as long as it's got fuel and oil, at 2,300 watts. How many of those camping fridges, if I had a power board that I could plug enough into, how many camping fridges could this thing power? Heaps. Absolutely heaps. Only 150 watts the camping fridge, so I don't want to put in a big bloody air conditioner or something to break this Jenny in. Okay, I've got the eco throttle on. Should hear it power up a little bit. I can't imagine it powering up too much if that fridge only takes 150 watts. Didn't even hear it. Generator hasn't even had to ramp up the revs. I think I forgot to say before too, 120cc engine in there. I did forget to say it. The Yamaha's only got an 89 or an 80cc engine in it. The little Hondas have got 120cc. This has got a 120cc engine, so it's a good size engine for this size generator. A lot of people are saying, Buck, Engel's run a Honda generator motor. I rang Engel yesterday, Engel Australia, and they told me that they didn't. It was some name, I can't remember what it was, and I've had other people say it's the same engine as Yamaha. I can't confirm that, but Engel told me it's not a Honda engine, okay, but it is 120cc. This unit's made in China, if you're wondering. The Engel generators are made in China, like the rest of them. Honda generators and Yamaha generators aren't made in Japan anymore, guys. Honda's got about 11 different manufacturing plants around the world, so where your Honda generator comes from is a lucky dip. Pretty sure Yamaha generators now are made in China. I googled that and it said Yamaha generators are now made in China due to, like anyone, it's cheaper to get stuff made in China. So don't think it's made in China, it's shit quality. You can get good quality stuff out of China, you'll pay the extra money for it, okay? I'm impressed with how this generator sounds. Can you hear it? I'll grab that camera and I'll put the microphone at the arse end of this. It's really quiet. Way quieter than I thought it would be. That's on eco mode at the moment, powering the camping fridge. Might slip inside and we'll see if the fridge is turned on and make sure that I have got power and that my fridge is running. Wow, 150 watt fridge. This thing can run a heap of camping fridges. This thing can run at 2,300 watts, max out at 2,500. So if you've got a bit of, say, a big circular saw that needs 2,400 watts to start up, but then it can run, once it's started, it can run on whatever, this generator will probably do it. Once again, exhaust gases, carbon monoxide, always run your generators outside. If it's going to rain, run your generator under a 3x3 gazebo or something and keep it out of the rain. Remember, we are working with 240 volts. So I didn't think I had 240 volts coming out. The green light was on. Just remember, if you want 240 coming out, the AC breaker, I had it turned to off down the bottom. It's got to be pushed into reset. I thought it was the other way around, so make sure it's pushed in at the top. As soon as I did that, I had 240 volts going to my fridge, guys. So make sure that if you do overload it, it will flick down to off. The AC breaker will flick to off, and then you reset it by pushing it in there. So I thought it was the other way around. Make sure it's pushed into reset to get 240 volts out of it. So you can see here, got me big 95 litre Fridgemate fridge, and now that I've hit the red button to the correct position, I have 240 volts where I didn't have before, and I was just about to have a dummy spit thinking I had a bogey bloody Jenny, but I haven't, guys. It was just me not knowing how to use it properly. But anyway, I know now, and hopefully I can pass that on to you guys and you'll know. So that's got to be pushed in at the top, that red button. Power to our fridge. Power's on. It's cycling, getting that down to temperature, and it's only 150 watts, so it's actually drawing nothing out of that generator. Hey everyone, we got interrupted by a storm yesterday afternoon. I couldn't finish the clip the way I wanted it to, and the battery on the camera went flat. I want to run you through the startup procedure again, because yesterday this red button, I didn't have it in the right position. Wondered why I couldn't get 240 out of the generator, so I know now. Another thing I forgot to mention that's very important, this generator does not seem to be equipped with a carbon monoxide cutout. No, the little Honda is. So if you have it enclosed and there's too much carbon monoxide build up, the Honda generator will shut off. The Engel does not have that, which brings me back to something I've mentioned numerous times now as the Stuka dive bomber goes over. Never run this in an enclosed area, guys. It's dangerous. Don't ever do it. So you shouldn't need the carbon monoxide cutoff if you do the right thing and run it outside or run it in a well ventilated area. I can't stress that enough. Right, startup procedure. Let's go. I've taken the cover off and I just checked my oil levels. Do that every time, every morning you go to start your Jenny. I've checked my oil, I've been to the servo, got some fresh ULP, and I've topped my fuel up. Next thing we need to do is make sure this little air valve on the top here of the fuel cap is on, so we don't get fuel stoppages, okay? The next thing we do is make sure this is in the up position for now. Make sure our ESC throttle, our eco throttle, is off for now. Off. The important one now is the AC circuit breaker switch. The red one is pushed in at the top to reset. If you don't have it pushed in to reset, you won't get 240 volts out of it. Found that out yesterday the hard way. Make sure that's pushed in, okay? First time this morning that we've run this generator, so it's going to be a cold start. So I switch it around to choke. Okay, reset there, ESC throttle off, oil and fuel checked, here we go. take up the slack on the cord. Give it a bit of oomph, buck. Flick it from choke to on. Let it warm up a little bit. So as soon as you hear it kicking over, and if it starts struggling that, you know it started, just flick it from choke to on. If you have to turn this off after it's warm to refuel, always turn it off to refuel. You don't need to use your choke for a hot start. Just turn that switch to on and you'll be able to restart the generator once it's already warm, okay? That is the startup procedure. Don't have anything hooked into your generator when you start it up, okay? Don't start it up when it's already loaded up. What I'm going to do now is put the eco throttle on. Because I'm not going to be running a big load off it. If you're going to run a big aircon or something, keep that off. I'm only running my camping fridge because I want to run this generator in for a couple of hours, okay? So what I do now is grab my lead, which is hooked up to my camper trailer, to my camping fridge. I heard that just rev up just so slightly then, because it's only a 150 watt fridge, so it's not drawing a lot out of this Jenny. Don't want to overload it, just want to run it in nice and easy before I go throwing jugs and all that on. Green light's on, which tells me there's power coming out of the generator, and the red switch is to reset. If it's not on reset, you won't get 240 volts, guys. I found that out yesterday. The other thing I want to say is I checked the video footage yesterday on this. This generator come up and sounded really loud. It doesn't sound as loud in real life as it does on the camera, guys, because I've got a directional shotgun microphone on this camera and it's really picking the noise. It's like, it almost amplifies the noise. So it's not as noisy in real life as what it's coming up on camera. Trust me on that one. Listen, it's not as quiet as the Honda. Everyone, is this as quiet as the Honda? No, it's not, according to the statistics. Okay, but it's still a quiet generator, guys. It's not like a big bloody thumping 10 kVA or something. Just on kVAs and watts, disregard anything I mentioned on kVAs. You have to be an electrical engineer to understand it. It's gone over my head. Apparently 2,500 watts isn't 2.5 kVA. So if I said that, I'm sorry. Disregard, I'm only going to refer to watts from now on, never kVAs, because I don't understand it. This is 2,500 watts, rated capacity to 2,300 watts. Let's go in and check the camping fridge. There you go, we got power to our power supply, and we have power to the fridge, and the fridge is cycling. So I'm going to let this run for a couple of hours. Should it rain, I'll bring that into the carport, okay, so undercover, not into the shed, into the carport. So as a little Engel Jenny chugs away over there, I love it. First impressions, very good. I am really impressed so far. Listen, I can't speak of longevity of this generator, guys. It's got a 4-year warranty. If something goes wrong, you know I'm covered there. I'll keep you updated on this. This isn't the last clip, part 4. Once I run the generator in, I'm going to start testing it out with electric jugs, running a fridge inside the house, maybe run 2 fridges inside the house, maybe try it on an air conditioner and see how it handles the heavier loads. But I want to run it in properly first before I go and do all that. Someone in the comments on my first clip, part 1, said, "Buck, too long, I just want to come to YouTube and just to get specific detail." So what I intend to do is do a series of shorts, you know, the little shorts you can get on YouTube, and just cut out all the jibber jabber and just stick to real, like, 1-minute clips, guys. I know you think I won't be able to do that, but I will. I'm going to try and do a series of shorts on this generator as well for people researching. The reason I'm doing this, there is bugger all on YouTube about this generator. There's a good one from a guy at Snowy's, nothing else. And that's why I'm trying to do this, for people out there doing their research like I just did for the last couple of months, trying to make a decision on what generator they go with. Thanks for tuning in. That concludes part 4. Part 5 is going to be me running a bit of equipment off this Jenny after I run it in. There's going to be a lot more coming up as well, guys. I've got some good stuff installed, and when I get that PowerPoint on it at home so I can run some stuff in the house, I'm going to put this generator to the test and see actually what I can power in the house if we lose power after a cyclone. Thanks for watching. Be good to each other. Stay safe wherever you are. If you're in North Queensland, we've got another one brewing up by the looks of it. We can't take a trick this year. Hang in there. Make sure you're prepared for cyclone season, guys, or for any sort of natural disaster for that matter, no matter whereabouts you are in Australia or overseas. All the best to you. Catch you next time.